We go back to Zoom and we go more. I did a whole, okay, record on this computer. I did
Recording in progress.
a whole episode yesterday and it didn't record, and so
Oh,
I have to redo her. And so but
oh
her
man.
voice was coming and going, and so I'm going to make her. It's okay. I like doing a show over, even though I asked her about her childhood and all that stuff. It's really cool, and she was excited. And she said, "That's a good question." She was so cosmic that
Oh,
she'll get it again.
oh, that's wonderful.
So
Yeah.
everybody, this is Jeff Eichen with the Legacy Show, and we have Terrie Huberman. Is that
Hello.
okay? Hey, and it's really a blessing to walk this planet these days. So many times we're stuck in a Zoom chat room where we don't have a voice and we don't
Yeah.
get to tell our story and to relax with with Jeff Eichen and with the folks of Plenty and so it's really nice to meet you and to greet you and to find out a little bit about who you are. And
Well, thanks for having
yeah,
me.
hang on. Hello,
Sure.
Edie. Hello. Hang on. Edie called me. She's my roommate here. Boom, boom. Okay. So it's really a blessing to navigate the digital world. To remember that Hal tried to shut everybody down on 2001: Space Odyssey in
Yeah.
1969. So
Yeah.
don't let AI kill you or use it responsibly and respectably. I hope your team wins the Stanley Cup or whatever, and that you realize that today is the first day of the rest of your life.
All the time. Yes.
So it's Jeff Eichen with the Legacy Show. Terry was not informed about our little impromptu legacy moment, but Terry, tell us a little bit about, or welcome, and it's nice to meet you.
It's
Uh,
nice to meet you too, officially, not just see you on a screen,
yeah.
the head on this large Zoom call.
Did you see me in James or in where okay, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's really it's tough when somebody takes 3 days out of your life and then asks for $20,000, and or whatever, whatever
Oh,
at the end of it. But it's nice and it's great that we got to connect. It's a cosmic order when two people meet, and then that's my mom and dad, and then they make me. I mean, how does
yeah.
that happen?
Yeah. For sure.
How does that happen? The sperm meets the
Hey.
egg. And so I'll tell you a little bit about me, and then we'll get into you. I'm a marijuana activist. I've worked with Tommy Chong before, and we work on Last Prisoner Project and the Can Do Clemency on getting people out of jail for nonviolence.
Okay.
So I've been doing that for number of years. I don't have any logos or anything here right now to show you, but the idea is that we have empathy this lifetime, for people in Gaza, for the people in the hospital, or for my friend who died in his sleep 4 days ago, and he knew my
Wow.
name, and he was in my town, and he could walk into my door of my house without knocking. He's no longer here.
Mm,
So my
yeah.
my legacy shows about us and how much time we have left on the planet and what we're doing with it.
Yes. Well, that's pretty good.
You know,
James, I would just
Jeffrey,
call you. Sorry
Jeffrey,
about that,
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey. My apologies. I feel like the more I study and learn, the less I know. So I'm not sure how to answer that question. It's almost like a as I go. Let's see. I have no idea at this point. Let's go. That's
Well,
kind of the
it's also unique to be a man and a woman. I mean, like born as a woman Do you have your own PTSD about, about the way that they wear burqas, and that the whole universe is not treating women equally, with pay, a truck driver or this or that, and now it seems to be equaling out, and it seems to be getting better. But at the same time, my empathy goes to the ladies in the party.
Hmm. Well, I feel like it's a big topic, and there are many levels of truth, and that's actually how I approach life and how I teach my clients, because nothing is just black or white. And energetically, because I work with a lot of energy, there are different levels of truth. And what your level of truth might be may not be somebody else's level of truth. But there is an underlying overall truth, I guess you can say. So, for example, I live in Los Angeles, which is in the state of California. Both are true, right? And also, California is part of the United States, and the United States is part of the North American continent, which is part of planet Earth. So each one of those.
This is like a Google map. You just like went like
yeah,
this.
exactly.
Yeah.
So those are levels of truth, and there is all one truth within, or I should say, there's different levels of truth within that one truth.
But isn't reality personal?
I do believe that there are levels of reality that are personal, because if supposedly, right, if I create my own reality, that's my reality, right? However, we have the law of one. So when we have the law of one, that is saying that I am you and you are me.
Right. This bag is black.
Right.
And this postal thing is white. But there's also reality. What about that person that can't see color or form, or is blind?
So that's a level. That's why I'm saying it's like it's a level of truth. So we have fact, and then we have emotions, right? And facts are not emotions, and emotions are not facts. The emotions come from the storyline or the narrative that we have about the fact.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say my level of truth may not be your level of truth, but they can both exist.
Well, that's what makes horse races.
Right.
So if everything was the same, and it would be kind of useless being incarnated.
Mm-hmm.
We'd all be the same, and so it's really beautiful to be unique and different. Big people, small people, short people, the Paralympics, swimmers with one arm. I mean, come on,
Yeah, exactly.
And how do we inspire each other? Well, hey, everybody, this is the Legacy Show, and I'm with Terrie Huberman today. And it's a blessing to meet people and to have them come on my show. One day we may go to Netflix. I'll use the little snippets from everybody's show and send them a little thing and see if we can get on Netflix, But the idea is that our legacy is something that, some people tell me I don't have a legacy, and I say, well, dig deeper. Oh, my children,
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Or my 20th book that I'm writing,
Yeah. I guess in terms of legacy, what do I have? Okay, so I have a book. I actually did write a book. So that's my first and only book. I am a sister, and I am a daughter, and I am an aunt, who I do feel, because again, the nature of energy is that energy influences energy. I do believe I am a legacy for them, and hopefully I inspire and motivate them on some capacity. I work with my clients. And then there are new clients to come, and then new collaborators, right? I get to work with people. So I'd like to think I have a legacy. I never really deeply thought of
legacy in my description. My father was getting ready to leave the planet, and he didn't know that he was going to slip and fall and break his back and not be mobile for the rest of his life for the 2 or 3 years of that. But before that, he was incredible, Buckminster Fuller kind of guy, inventor and this and that. And the deal is that he said, Jeffrey, you just filmed me, a couple months ago, and it was called Howie Speaks. It was about my dad, Howie, and we were in a Hakuma at 6,000 feet in San Diego, and it was cold, and we were in the hot tub, and we went back to his hotel room and our little room there, and I videotaped him talking about architecture and lightweight concrete and helping restore the landfills on the planet, and how he was ready to cry because we've left this world dangerous and difficult and doomed for the grandchildren and the grandchildren's grandchildren. And he says it's time for us to learn from our mistakes, blah, 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 blah. He was scared for the rest of his life, and he made hours of footage of himself talking about his legacy. He wanted to teach through legacy. So, in other words, when we talk to Terrie Huberman, we ask you, what would you want to be remembered for?
That's a really great question. I think, and this is as of now, as of this conversation, so I would love to be able to add on or change it in the future as I evolve and grow. But I would really like to be known as a person who who is genuinely heart-led and can teach other people how to lead with their heart and their brain, not just their heart or just their brain, but how to be able to navigate using both their brain and their heart to get through this experience. So when I say this experience, I mean the human experience. Living life as best as you can. I think that's what I'd like to do, is leave a legacy that gives people permission to operate from their heart, their truth, and to not be, I don't want to say dumb about it because that's not very nice, but to have some intelligence with it.
Awareness.
Wait, see, I think it's awareness is a better word.
Yeah.
Awareness of it, because I do genuinely believe with every fiber of my being that energy influences energy. So whatever you do or say, whether it's good or bad, that's a judgment that people can put or not put. It does affect other people.
Have you ever walked the Whole Life Expo?
God, it's been years. It's been at least 20 years.
Yeah, well, they stopped it, I think, for a while, and they just started it up again, and it's pretty amazing. I lived in Mar Vista and taught school in Topanga Canyon for 30 years.
Sure.
Yeah, so I know Beverly Boulevard.
You know it's under too.
We love it.
Yeah.
So, and I was very, very, very sad when the Palisades burned down this year. No matter how it happened, doesn't matter. It means that it could happen again. So hightail out of there, find your favorite small town, and and get online and teach for the rest of your life in a calm. I mean, I love LA, and so I'll be there. I'll actually be in LA this Friday. My niece is getting married.
Oh, congratulations to her. That's great.
So everybody, we're with Terrie Huberman. Tell us a little bit about your offerings to the public, and what you really what you do professionally and from your heart.
Sure. So I'm an intuition. I'm a few things, but I like to put it into intuition specialist, because when it comes down to it, all the stress, all the outside noise and chatter could influence what we think and feel, which is going to ultimately create our choices. How are we going to behave and act? So I help mostly professional women who are overthinky and they have tendencies to get overwhelmed really quickly. Uh, what they want is they want to be able to make confident decisions, but they're sitting in indecision and they're wobbly and they're not sure which direction they should go in. So I go in and I use scientific backed energy work to help them clear that outside.
Wait. You just blew my mind. Scientific.
Yes, science backed energy shifting techniques. So specifically, I use heart coherence. So, and again, I'm just so heart centered and so heart everything. And I think it's mostly because I practice what I preach. I do a lot of heart energy activation. So when you're working with me and you work and you learn, because it's not something that we were taught, we have to learn this. Only because there's not enough people who know how to do this. Once you know how to do this, you can teach your children, you can teach your nieces and nephews, and then they can grow up and they can actually access their inner truth, right? And what happens is when you activate the energy of the heart, it neutralizes negative lower vibrations and frequencies. So if we're dealing with overwhelm and anxiety, what happens is when you open your heart and you start dealing with the heart waves, which what are the EKGs? They measure your heart rate, the electricity of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is a lot of people who are under stress, or if they're overwhelmed or they're anxious, their heart rate is going to be erratic. And they've done a lot of science, especially the Heart Math Institute, what they have found is that when you place your attention, your focus, and your awareness on your heart, you activate the energy of the heart. And so the heart waves can become more coherent. And when the heart waves are more coherent through what's called entrainment, so this is all the science stuff, right?
Right.
Let me help make it easy. It's almost like a Pac-Man that eats the dots. So what happens is these heart waves, they entrain, they eat up the lower waves, so they become more balanced instead of erratic and crazy. And when you can do that, you actually neutralize whatever that you're feeling that doesn't feel good. And so
isn't that a little bit like Ram Dass, be here and now?
Oh, well, yes, it makes you very present. Right. It makes you very present. I mean, nothing I'm saying is new. Okay. I mean,
is there anything new?
There isn't anything new. It's just a new way of discovering how it works, right? So science is now thankfully starting to prove the metaphysical and the esoteric world. So science is sort of catching up to that, right? And that's just because of the way the energy works. Energy works in waves. They're just subatomic particles that move in certain patterns at certain speeds. That's it. But we like to complicate things because that's what humans do. So when you understand the basics, just the basics of how energy works, you can actually use it to your advantage, because then you can control or manipulate it. And I know the word manipulation has this negative connotation, but all manipulation is just changing something. And so, for example, with the anxiety and the overwhelm, what you're changing are the patterns and the speeds of those energy waves to neutralize. So when people work with me, I teach them just how to neutralize. That's their only job. You don't have to go to joy and elation from fear and angst. It's too much of a gap, right? But if you can go from grr to meh, you're at least neutralizing, and now you've started closing that gap so you can at some point get to the elation and the joy. And people think that they have to go from like this negative place to a positive place. No, you don't have to. You can have a pit stop and everything's okay.
You mean no pain, no gain?
Well, the no pain, no gain is really about effort. And neutralization is actually about release and letting go. Little bit of an energetic difference in no pain, no gain than neutralize.
Are you on your laptop?
I am.
tilt the screen down a little bit. I'm cutting you off at the chin. Yeah,
Is that
perfect. A little bit higher, a little bit higher. I'm the photographer. Right there, right there.
all
Perfect,
right?
perfect. Okay, cool. Direction well accepted.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, we're with Terrie Huberman, and she's telling us a little bit about heart math. Tell us about heart math.
Well, it's an institute that does a lot of scientific research on the electromagnetic field of the heart and the electricity of the heart. And here's what's pretty cool is what they have found. What they have found is that the heart center, so if we're going to talk about energy fields, the heart center is the largest electromagnetic field of the body. And the reason why is that it also has neurons in it, which are brain cells, which is why there is an intelligence to the heart. And so, if it's the largest electromagnetic field, it means that it can actually emit outwards from the body or past the body anywhere from 3 to 6 feet. So, just imagine, right? Just imagine that you're walking around the corner, and before somebody can even hear you or see you, they feel you or they sense you. And that's because of the electromagnetism that your heart is giving out and your heart is emitting. And truth is where the heart lives. Truth is where the heart lives. So when a woman or a man, anybody really, it just women have a tendency to draw themselves to me. I have no problems working with men whatsoever because I do believe human beings have an intuition. But if you have a much better understanding of how to get into that place of intuition, you're going to make really good choices and decisions for yourself. And when you make them over and over and over again, your confidence is going to grow.
So, are you
Right?
like the mechanic, the cosmic mechanic, to get a tune-up?
I like that. The cosmic mechanic. I mean, yeah, why not?
You
I'll
know,
take
because an old guy with no teeth came up to me in 1979. We had 8x10 cameras from the University of Oregon, and we had Volkswagen vans, and we went to the Southwest with photography, because that's my heart math is black and white photography. And I was just learning. I was 20, 25, whatever, at the University of Oregon, and this guy with no teeth came up to me, and I took my dark cloth off, and I was standing. He says, "Young man, the parts wear out." And with no teeth, the body, the human body, keep it lubricated. And so for 30, 40 years, I've been walking around telling everybody the parts wear out, the parts wear out. Keep yourself, liquefied and hydrated, and learning every day. And another lady came up to me and said, learn something every day before you go to sleep. Think about it and rewind your day. We're moving so fast.
Yes, exactly. And so when you slow down, which oftentimes is really counterintuitive to whatever's going on, especially if you're triggered in survival mode, the last thing you want to do is slow down. That is the last thing. So a lot of this is where I guess you could apply the no pain, no gain, because there is a level of truth that there is effort that goes into this because you do have to do this work and you have to do it consistently. So it's not just like a one and done where I activate the energy of my heart and then my life is fantastic. You have to train the brain and you have to train the body, just like any other athlete. And then what happens is that it becomes a natural way of being. There's no there's no should I, shouldn't I. You really start to trust your body. So I always tell people when they start working with the energy of the heart, they become a pendulum.
That's
Because it,
that's fantastic. Let's before we take a dive into your website and more about what you offer to the humans, let's stick on. Let me see if I can get us up here again. I just lost my Zoom chat. Okay, let's go way back to when you were a
okay.
child. who
Okay.
inspired you to be different and to jump into your, um, I guess your Gandalf, your good witch Glinda, tribal, rest of your life. Who was that? A teacher, a parent of somebody you met, or a book? Tell us
Yeah.
about being a child and grabbing that. Aha, I'm different. I want to go with that.
Well, I think it was some paranormal experiences that I had as a kiddo that really left this imprint that there's more out there than the eye can see, the nose can smell, the tongue can taste. There's more than what my physical senses
Are you an
are.
abductee? Are you an abductee? No.
Not as far as I'm aware of,
Okay.
no.
Okay. That's a beautiful answer. Not as far as I'm aware of.
Yeah, I mean, who knows like I said, the more I learn and the more I study, the less I actually know. So, yeah, I remember my first paranormal experience. I think I was about 6 or 7, maybe. I felt the covers of my bed being tugged off of me, and I was like, what? I sat up. So I was woken from my sleep. I sat up and I had mirror closet doors that were in front of me. I sat up and I saw that I had a head of a wolf. And I was like, what the what? And then I went back down and I covered the sheets over my head, and I was like really scared. I had no idea what any of that meant. I remember in 5th grade, I would go to the bathroom with some girls, and we would just sit there, or it would be more like standing, stare in the mirror, trying to make our dangly earrings move with telepathy. So I was always just weird. I was always weird. I don't know. I don't want to call it weird. People will label it as weird. For me, it was
How about
normal.
Abby Normal?
Yeah, I mean normal. I mean, I'm raised Jewish. And so there was always a Kabbalistic approach. My mother is Cuban, so she had Santeria exposed to her. So there was always some sort of mystical something going on in
Wait,
our
wait, wait. If
family.
your mom was Santeria, where's the Jewish side of things?
So all of my grandparents were from Poland.
Mm-hmm.
This thing called the Holocaust.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
I hope we're not there right now.
you and me both.
Yeah.
On one side of the family, some of the family, like my great great grandparents, saw what was happening and said, "You need to because, for example, in Cuba, Castro had come into power, so some of the elders, the grandparents in my family on on the Cuban side of my family said, "Oh, we don't like what's happening. Get out." And so from Cuba, they went to Florida. So I had some family who are Cubans who go to Florida. My mom came to the States when they were like, get out, get out. So she actually came to California. So that's how they got here to California. So she was raised in Cuba and then came to California. Everybody's Jewish. We're what's called Ashkenazi Jews. And then I did have family that was in the Holocaust.
Was that
So
Ellis Island? Did they come through Ellis?
Believe they came through Ellis Island. I believe so. I don't know exactly, but I know half of my family that came from Cuba, at least on my mom's side of the family, they came from Poland. They went to Cuba because Cuba at that time was the only place that would take the refugees from what was happening in Europe. And then when Castro came into power, they saw what was happening with the socialism and all of that stuff, and they knew and they had the experience already. So then they came to the States. And then on my father's side of the family, a lot of them were in the Holocaust and they perished. And so on my dad's side of the family, they went from Poland. They were liberated in Poland. They were in the Holocaust. I lost a lot of family. There was family that survived, and they went back to Germany for just a little bit of time, and then they went to Israel, and then from Israel to here. So I'm like a mishmash. I'm first generation American, actually. So that's why and how the Santeria was familiar on my mom's side of the family. And that's why I have a Cuban side of the family.
I bet a
And then,
barbecue was fun, you know.
it's fun
We
because,
had brisket at Auntie Joan's house, and then our family like separated for, you know, emotional family reasons, and no more brisket.
yeah, that's funny. Yeah, no, there was always brisket. Both sides of the family, we always had brisket. On one side of the family, the spices were different, and the meat was ground differently.
That's hilarious. Well, everybody,
Yeah,
we're with the Legacy Show. It's Tuesday morning here in the West Coast of United States, planet Earth. Well, Google Map us, and you know, I'm in
yeah,
Port Townsend, Washington, and beautiful Terrie Huberman is down in Los Angeles, and it's all cosmic to me. It's all one when we get into a Zoom chat, you know, and so you're giving us your aha about your childhood. Button that up a little bit,
yeah.
about your who you are from that day on.
Yeah, I think I'm just the kid. I'm still a big kid who just sees things differently because I've had experiences that are out of this world. And when I mean out of this world, I mean out of the human senses. And I was 19 and I started playing with tarot cards, and I would give people readings and they were really accurate. So I just always played around. I had a very positive outlook and a very positive view, unlike a lot of people I know. And I was 40 years old when I had my first mediumistic experience, when I realized I could speak to people who were no longer living. So I mean, to nutshell my experience, I don't know. I don't know how to nutshell it. I can just say that I think it's been with me. I know that these talents and skills, and like I'll call them sensitivities. I think everybody has the ability to do this. It's just their level of sensitization to it or of it or about it. On my mom's side of the family, a lot of this stuff runs through it. So I decided to make a career out of it in 2014, where I started out as a psychic and a medium. And then I realized that I had, bigger and higher intuitive skills. And so I started to work with energy. And then I took all these energetic classes, Reiki 1 and 2. My favorite is pranic healing. And I went through some trauma therapy myself. I was in a terrible relationship. And of course, when you do trauma therapy, you get really down and deep into a lot of darker, denser energy. So I
Taking
really,
responsibility.
and responsibility. Yeah. And so I just realized that I do really well with people who have anxiety
Mm-hmm.
and who have overwhelm, because I myself have that. The only difference is I've really learned a lot of energy shifting techniques to help me manage or balance it.
You mean how
And
to
so
pull out of it quicker?
catch yourself quicker so that you're not suffering as much.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really important. And when you understand the laws of the universe, and when you understand the aspects of spirituality, like, for example, loving kindness and generosity, and you start applying and putting all of these
The
together,
golden rule.
the golden rule, then you start to go, okay, I can actually get through this. Because again, we as humans, we have stories.
Isn't the T-shirt "Tomorrow's a New Day"?
Well, I think this moment is a new moment.
Well, that's the Ram Dass, going back to Rami.
Yeah.
Did
Exactly.
you ever meet Ram Dass in Maui?
No, I never
Oh,
did.
me
No.
neither. Me neither. I mean, I met Timothy Leary. Come on, I met David Bowie. I met Prince. But who cares about me? This is about Terrie Huberman today, everybody. We're on the Legacy Show, and it's really a blessing to meet you, hear about your past, present, and future, and about being grounded, and how to deal with your whether it's anxiety or PTSD or where that comes from. Terrie is here to professionally and scientifically give you some medicine, some herbs, and some spices from intellect and how to's, if I'm reading you right, to be grounded and to be walking this planet and to find your own legacy.
Yes, through your sensitivities, because everybody's got their own stories, everybody has their own feelings. And a lot of times we think that if we feel bad or we're in a bad place, that something is wrong. And it's not. That is actually if you want to go all woo woo, it's a portal that you can use to develop and better not only your higher soul, but your human. And the whole idea is to have the higher soul and the human talk and have conversations so that they can both evolve and develop. So, look, a lot of people think the ego is a bad thing, and the ego is designed literally to keep the human body alive. So, its intention is good. Its intention is to help the human stay alive and for the body to not, just stop existing, but it can be covert because it doesn't care how it keeps the body alive. So it will create stories and narratives that are not necessarily true. So we have to unlearn those. And I believe a really great way to unlearn those is to get to know thyself, know yourself, your operating system, know your levels of truth, and to connect to either, I don't know, whoever your higher power is, whether it's God, the universe, the angels, if it's Jesus, it doesn't matter. As long as you're connecting and you're using all of these pieces, because your human is here, whether you like it or not.
My ex used to say you can't do it wrong.
It's true. You can't do it wrong. However, you can suffer. And so, depending on your awareness, if we go back to awareness, you can actually decrease a lot of suffering and then it can be easier. You're not going anywhere until you actually leave your earth suit. But if you can decrease your suffering, it sure can be an easier ride.
Wow. So much to learn, so much to burn, and sometimes it's your lucky day. You're elected to be on the Legacy Show with Jeff Eichen, and it's me today interviewing Terrie Huberman, and it's such a blessing to for me to walk in the path of the Spirit and the angels. My own angels, like bring me around the corner, and there's that perfect photograph. And Cartier-Bresson back in the 20s and 30s, he was a French photographer in Paris, and he said, photography is the precise moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we freeze it and then we make a photograph. Again, I don't have much here to share with you of my own photography that proves that, but it is that every snap, every remembrance, everything that we do, everybody is important. And sometimes we meet people like Terrie Huberman, where my angels, have given me two really incredible spiritual legacy shows this week, and I can keep up with you, as you can tell, and
Yeah.
with the spiritual gab and the and the burning bush stuff and all that stuff that's cosmic, yet part of our dance.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, a lot of times, I don't know if you find this, but it's hard to use human words to how you're feeling and what you're sensing. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I wish there were words. And I just do feel that, people come into our lives for a reason or a season or a lifetime. It's very, very true. If you go back and look into your life, you'll definitely find that. And I think it's really enjoyable speaking to you because I feel like you get me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting ready to go to California, then back, and then in 2 weeks from there, I go to my 50th Oregon Country Fair. And Ken Kesey started that fair 50 years ago, and we bought 150 acres about 25 years ago, and there's a sauna that holds 100 people there for showers and saunas and babies and dreadlocks and stilt walkers and musicians and all night music and fun and food. And my best friends I happen to outlive them there, and their children are taking over. And so our generation that we have created, the hippies, the kids are stepping in. They're not in war games. They're not locked on the Nintendo. They're helping their parents get ready for next year's country fair, cutting fruit for the fruit bowls, for the this, that, and the others. There's the belly dance camp, and all the kids are out belly dancing. To see the 6-year-olds on stage belly dancing, and then all of a sudden they're 20, and they're out there doing the same thing. So stick with it, everybody, and go to Terrie if you have an issue. I'm gonna pull your website up, see if we can do that, and you walk us through your website here. Let's see if I can do that. I got your website there. Now we're gonna go back to. I'm learning my software, even though I've had it for a while. Let's see here if I can find my. Here, let's see. It's probably right here. StreamYard. Okay, so now we're gonna go there, and we're gonna go stop share screen, and then we're gonna share screen again, and here we go. So we're gonna find we're gonna find your window here. StreamYard, boom, workspace, camera effects. I'm looking for your. I might have to do it another way if I can't find it. Terrie. Okay, I'll do it another way. I'll do the entire screen. Boom. Okay, so now we're going to share our entire screen, and I'm going to share my Zoom screen with you so you can see what we're looking at. Boom. And then you can see our screen now. And,
my goodness, look at this.
And,
this is setup, Jeff.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go, and there we are. Okay, so we're in action. Okay, so now wait, let's get this open here. Okay, now we're gonna go large screen. Boom. Okay, so walk us through a little bit about your website here.
Yeah, I think the easiest and quickest way will be up at the top. You see where it says schedule, about, offerings, and blogs. If you go to offerings, you have an opportunity to buy my book, the book that I wrote. Now, there's also, yes, you can purchase that book.
And when did your book come out?
It came out in last July, so it's almost a year now.
Is it on Amazon and the usual?
Yeah, it's on all the usual. Amazon is where you can get it. You can get it on Kindle as well through Amazon.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's sort of like a guide, so it gives you step by step. You can go at your own pace, and it really does get you into the heart energy, which is really nice. This is also, it helps you build a lot of your intuitive skills as well. So I think that'll be, if you're wanting to get more in touch with your intuitive skills, you can learn how to do that as well there. And then I think one of the coolest things that I offer, other than working one-on-one, so I do a mentorship that's about 12 weeks, one-to-one. If you go back to offerings up at the top, there you go. If you go to buy recorded meditations, what I have is I have a whole library of I call them heart huglets. They're guided meditations in which earlier I was talking about opening up the energy of your heart so that you can neutralize feelings that aren't so good. You can actually buy individual meditations based on certain topics, and then I also have bundles there.
And are these subscription based to be able to listen to these?
No, it's a one and done purchase.
And okay.
You can download them. Yeah. And then you just do it on your own. So it's a pre-recorded meditation. There's a whole bunch there. There's a step-by-step guide that you get. And so, yeah. So
there's the bundle, everybody, $19.97 and only 777. That's like 111, I guess. And on the seventh day, we rested, everybody. And so here we are with Terrie Huberman. So tell us more about, I'm scrolling through here.
So yeah, and then of course, I have to have the very important legal notes there, just basically telling you that it's safe, everything is fine. So if you scroll down, you can see the bundles, and you can so there's several in one bundle. There are several meditations in there, and they're guided meditations. These are active meditations. They're not passive meditations. So when you work with me, whenever we do any type of meditation, it's not going to be passive where you have to sit there and try and clear your mind like traditional meditation. People who have anxiety or overwhelm have a very difficult time sitting still. So what I do is I use the excess energy of your body, and we focus and direct it into a particular way. In this case, we're focusing and directing it onto the heart. And we do that 3 ways: by physically tapping on the heart, by thinking of the heart, and by breathing into and out of the heart. That's what makes it active versus passive, because you're actually doing something. So those are bundles, and then there's a whole bunch of ones for individuals if you want to just do something individual, if you want to just like feel like you look prettier, right? And there are affirmations that are given to you during the heart coherence action, which is when the energy of your heart the waves of the heart are more balanced, and they're a lot more quiet. You're not as frazzled, and you'll be able to actually feel it in your body. So that's one offer that I have as well. And if you go back to the offerings, which should be all the way at the top, or if you go there, it'll take you back. If you go to monthly new moon workshop, every new moon I hold a workshop. Now, typically the energy of new moon is to bring in. I like to do clearings and release so that the new moon energy can bring in. So in other words, what we're doing is we're making space for the blessings to come in. The blessings are going to come in. However, if there's no space for them to actually sit and settle and integrate with your energy field, nothing's going to happen. They'll already just be, we'll call it like existing energy, and then you bring it on top, nothing happens. But if you clear out that energy and now the energy of the moon comes in, then it can integrate with your field. So a lot of times this is for manifestation. So, and this particular event is a pay what you can, whatever you're capable of paying, because I want everybody to experience this. This is every month. So there's one actually coming up this Sunday. I'm not sure when this is going to be airing or streaming. So if you miss it this month, there's always next month. You can get on my mailing list. Not a problem.
It's on YouTube. We're on YouTube right now.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's live.
Yeah.
So come join us for this Sunday. That's fantastic.
Fantastic, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. And then one more offering that I have for people to work one-on-one together. And that's if you want to do, and that's if you go back to the top.
I'm trying to. Your top is missing.
Okay, so just go backwards then to the main page.
Boom.
Go to offering where it says VIP. That is actually the Soul Intelligence Program. And that is for people who want to work with me in a much deeper capacity to help to teach them how to optimize their energy to easily and more effortlessly and more confidently make confident decisions, and also discover and improve, because like I said, everybody already has an intuition, but we really work on the intuition. And in this program, I teach you how to clean and clear your own field, and how we cut the attachment to other people, places, things, situations. So I teach you how to do that. And it moves in 3 phases where we reveal what's happening to you. Because a lot of the times there's these the blind spots. We just have no idea what's happening. The other day I was working with my client. She didn't realize she had a visibility issue. She had no idea. So that's what came up. And then we go ahead and we release it. And then we reclaim our power to it by consistently over and over taking specific actions. So though there's a skeleton, it's very, very individualized based on your particular.
So is this one-on-one or group?
This one is one-on-one. However, I am in the process of creating a group.
Oh, fantastic. It's you'd be the cosmic Al-Anon lady. You know.
I love it. Yeah, I'm not there yet. It's in the process of being created. And then I'll do a master class on all of that. So you guys will definitely know when and how and all the things. But for right now, it is just one-on-one. And these are all of the offerings that I have.
That's fantastic. Your website's gorgeous, and I like your color scheme, and real women ship. You know, hang on. Let's see. So now I have, I have my next interview coming in. So everybody, let's leave. Let's see. I have Leva. So we'll leave Leva there for a minute, and why don't we wrap this up? We're at the top of the hour. And it's Love and Light with Terrie Huberman. Let's see if I can get us back to square one here. Let's see. So we're on StreamYard, and we're going to go back to Zoom, and I'm going to go meeting, and let's see if I can end share screen. Where's my share screen? Hang on. Oh, there it is. Stop share. Okay. If we were a snake, it would have bit me. Okay, so there we go. So we're back there. And then we're going to go back to remove there. And we're going to go share screen, stop share, and then share screen. And we're going to share screen again. And we're going to go to everybody. We're with Terrie Huberman, and we're going to say an incredible thank you for your goddess power and for your energy and for your website. Everybody go to terriehuberman.com, sign up for one of her full moon shows. And Terrie, you can go on my Facebook, friend me, and we'll stay friends forever. Shalom Aleichem.
Thank you. Thank you. Shalom to you too. Thank you for having me. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Leva's coming in. Okay, good morning, Leva. Is it Leva?
Actually, it's Leva.
Leva. Okay, Leva. Not intuitive. When parents name us, you know, it's very, very amazing here. So let me do something right now, right here. I'm going to pull us out of, hang on, I'm going to pull us out of, I'm going to get my other camera here, MacBook Pro, boom. Okay, let me pull us out of this other situation I was in and get us ready for you. I was just finishing another stream here, so end stream,